1610 are a not-for-profit leisure trust. We run 19 sports and leisure facilities across the southwest. Last year 1610 went through a big organisational restructure just following the impact of living wage, and following that we did a big staff survey, and one of the biggest common themes that came out of that survey was sort of how we improve effective communication, personalised communication for staff. Off the back of that research, we started to look at what we could put in place to improve that. And just to give you a bit of background, we've got 500 staff all across the southwest, very young, vibrant workforce, and not in your typical desk-based jobs. They are working in gyms and sports halls, so actually finding a platform that was flexible was really important to us. We went to Synergy, who I like to think of as an extension of our marketing department. We really use them for advice and guidance and help. They shared with us some best practices around how Workplace had worked with other industries and other companies that had similar objectives to us.
We also worked quite closely with Synergy on a teaser campaign. It certainly got people questioning what was coming. One of the other things we looked at about 2 to sort of 3 weeks before launch was sharing it with our senior management team and our middle managers. So I think we had about 10% of the workforce already signed up to Workplace before actually launch day. So for us that was a really good start, and actually it enabled us to have content readily available on Workplace that other colleagues actually adopting Workplace, they could see what type of content they could put on and share. And then the next step was obviously launch day itself. Generating a real buzz on the day was vitally important, so we created an activation station. Each centre had a dedicated space where staff could sign up to. This also allowed people, if they had any questions or queries or concerns around Workplace, could actually ask some questions as well. We also actually had giant emojis positioned on the floor, which certainly raised a few eyebrows, but acted really well to guide people to the activation stations to sign up. So the final step that proved very successful was a little bit of bribery. So we actually brought in branded cookies as an incentive, so you couldn't have your cookie until you had actually signed up. This certainly improved adoption rates for us.
Workplaces work well for me because I work with a site team on a day-to-day and then with the wider management team across some more of the sites. So in that respect, it helps bring the distance between some of the sites and some of the managers together. Actually, we can call each other, we can drop files into groups and messages a lot easier, and actually we can share best practice a lot easier.
I'm really pleased with how Workplace launched so far. We had a full sort of content launch plan prepared and ready to sort of help and fuel that conversation, but it actually hasn't really been needed. One of the most successful groups that we've had is the Recognise and Reward group. So actually people are putting messages to say thank you, to share successes, things that are going on in the organisation. And one of the nicest comments we've had from one of the staff that works at head office is actually it's almost like a shop window of seeing what goes on in 1610, because often you won't hear of what everything goes on in 19 different facilities and the great stories that we've got of how staff are helping people achieve their goals and getting people physically active. So it's been a much quicker reaction than what I actually thought it would be.
I think the numbers speak for themselves. We have 66% of active users now on Workplace. Our ultimate goal is to get to 80%, so we're not far off. We also have about 40% who are using it on a weekly basis, whether that be via the mobile app. It has proved really successful.
We've been reviewing obviously the impact of Workplace over the last month, and within the short space of time that we've had it, it's really grown, and we're seeing a real impact in communication, which was the ultimate goal really.